Right, so I'm going to start going over some of the reasons as to why I might not have had the most perfect first trip in Japan. For saying how long that trip was planned for, there were a few things that happened that were avoidable as far as I'm concerned. Now, I don't fly a lot and I'm not the type of person to read terms and conditions or small print, so you might have to weigh in and tell me I'm being stupid or if I've got this wrong. But this is the first big issue I had with my trip, and also the main reason why I will never fly with British Airways ever again. So I booked my tickets in October 24 for June 25. I'd say that was long enough time in advance to book something. Now, when I booked my flights, I booked premium economy direct from London Heathrow to Haneda in Tokyo. I paid for my seats. I chose which seat I wanted. Now, I specifically chose the seat on the left-hand side of the plane so I could see Mount Fuji coming in. It was going to be this moment as if to be like, you're finally here, you finally made it, and have a real sort of uplifting moment in the first few moments of being in the country. I checked my seat probably every day from the day I booked it to the day I flew, mainly out of excitement, but also because I was curious as to see if anyone was going to end up sitting next to me. So I checked every single day. Now, up until the day of flying, the seat was mine. And I'm very anxious in the airport, I'm very nervous. There's a lot of people around me, I'm about to get on the longest flight I've ever been on. So I wasn't feeling my best. Now I get to the gate, I try to scan my boarding pass, just beeps at me a couple of times. So I go to the desk, can't get in, what's going on? He says, oh, right, your seat's changed. Okay, why? Didn't tell me. Thought that was a bit crap. So I said, oh, have I still got a window seat on the same side of the plane? He said, yeah. So I got on the plane. Turns out that was wrong. I was on the wrong side of the plane and someone was already sat in the seat that I was then meant to sit in. So I went to the air steward and I was like, bro, this is what's happening. And he was like, oh, we'll just find you a seat. So they found me a random seat, like near the seat that I should have had. It was a window seat, but it was on the wrong side of the plane. Now, I don't handle change very well. I'm a little bit neurodivergent. I don't handle change well at all, especially if it's something planned like that. And I've also got bigger anxieties like my fear of flying or whatever. And they just didn't seem to give a shit. But the air steward that was dealing with me was also telling other passengers that he wasn't meant to be on that flight. He was asleep 6 hours ago and he's really not in the mood. That was very clear with how he dealt with me. And I complained while I was in Japan, and I got a very normal email saying, oh, that's not what we expect, blah 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 blah, here's £50, you can use it off your next flight. £50 neither here nor there really when you're looking at a flight from British Airways. So it was very much a box ticking exercise, I think, dealing with my complaint. But that's why I'll never fly with British Airways again. That's why I really don't like British Airways, and I think next time I do go direct, I'll be going with Japan Air.